I started like painting because I had to like do something with like my suffering, with my pain.
So funny story, my first tattoo at 14 was actually a Nike swoosh that I paid $10 for in this ratchet ass basement. Full circle moment, my first modeling gig was with Nike, so that's a little surreal and a blessing to say the least. I don't know if you can see the tattoo, it's boo-boo, it looks like a baby drew it on with a green crayon. But I covered it up since then.
Being a DJ and like it's such a close-knit small community where I feel that people in that space are very collaborative.
And I've just like kind of turned like strike oil into a lifestyle and like a philosophy and a way of thinking and a way of like treating my life and kind of like as an attitude.
Yeah, I'm gonna always just be a baller and ball is life.
Ball is life.
I feel like for so long, especially when I started Strike Oil, I was always like constantly comparing myself to other people that I saw like kind of in the same lane as me.
I mean, at the end of the day, people come and go and people around you and their opinions change. So like your opinion of yourself and the way that you view yourself is the most important thing to me.
I feel like I'm in a lot of spaces pre-corona when I was going to like branded parties and stuff where you can just, you could feel the tension.
I get uncomfortable when I'm around people that are super competitive because I like just exist in my own like world where I go at my own pace. I don't really care what other people are doing. You don't realize how much like you pick up on other people's things and their traits, but like you can't let yourself go too far from like who you truly are.
You may see your creative peers doing XYZ and then you can feel a little self-conscious and be like, oh, I'm not in the space where I'm materializing things right now, and am I really on top of my shit? Can we cuss? Been really trying not to go crazy, y'all. I'm just really gonna keep it 300.
I had my sample sewers start making masks for people on the front lines because it's when there was that huge shortage.
A lot of people don't have the privilege to be in a safe and sound space. A lot of people live with people who are emotionally and verbally and physically abusive. So I've definitely, this year has taught me to count my blessings in the space that I'm in.
Keep in contact with other people. Make sure that like you're touching base with people and like doing things that make you happy in this time, because your mental health is so important on your physical health as well. And I just don't think that they paid enough attention to that and like to touch on it enough in the media.
And I feel like there's also a lot of pressure on social media where people are saying, you know, if you're a creator and if you're not locking in right now, that you're not a real creative. I feel like a lot of people right now, they're focusing on mental health and trying to protect their mind and spirit during a time like this.
It is really hard though in times like this to just find motivation, because mental health in a situation like that we have been in, it has been downplayed so much on like how much the effect of these type of situations.
But for me personally, I've been trying to just funnel all this energy into my creativity, and I just really feel like coming off the heels of this, there's going to be like this huge art renaissance, and I feel that a lot of us are trying to chime in with our crafts because one, it keeps us mentally grounded and sane, and I just feel like it's going to have a ripple effect on generations to come, the things that we're birthing right now. There's space for us all to win. Like there's literally billions of people in the world. A lot of anxiety, a lot of heightened emotions, and rightfully so.
And be like, okay, I don't like where the world is. I don't like what's going on right now. So I feel this call to action, and it's like my duty, not only my right, but it's like my duty to actually do something about it.
There's so many things on the line, from climate change to women having autonomy over their bodies and Black and people of color representation, and just, it's very scary. Again, performative activism where we have Black Lives Matter on the back of the jerseys, but then a lot of the NBA owners are donating to Trump. So it's just deeply rooted systemic racism, and it's just a very scary situation to say the least.
You can't deny the fact that California's been on fire. It's like 110 degrees outside.
You go outside, you're like, it's too hot, I can't breathe. Like the ground's so dry, it hasn't rained in however long. Like, but there's just like that point where you're like, no matter what your opinion and your views on anything throughout your life, what's happened and what's made you come to these conclusions from your experience, none of that matters.
My whole life, I have grown up in a unfortunately homophobic family, and I just came out this year, and boy, was it a journey.
My 15-year-old self, I would say be excited to be you. Because I think when I was 15, I really didn't like the person that I was, and I feel like I've done a lot of work to like now be who I am, and I've kind of like fallen in love with myself, not in a like a conceited like narcissistic way, but like in kind of like a beautiful way. And I feel like when I was 15 it was so dark and like the world was shit in my eyes, and I didn't have expectations for like such a beautiful life. And the second that I kind of dropped that like inner narrative and like allowed myself the space to like get into myself in like a really healthy way, like my view on the world changed, and it became like a really beautiful like space to be in.
Just like you are your best friend, and always trust yourself and you like your intuition and all these things, and take time to remain an individual.
Yeah, I would probably just tell myself that I'm gonna be okay and to continue walking into my truth, and things are gonna make a lot of sense later. But it just is so liberating now to be a 24-year-old woman and figuring things out, and knowing that the ideas that I was brewing in my room when I was a little girl, that I'm not crazy and that it actually came to life and I can walk in my truth.
And also I have to say both of your videos were so fucking sick. Thank you for like doing it, and also like being very honest and like upfront about things that like people don't usually love talking about. So like I really appreciated that, because like it takes a lot to be like loud and proud in whatever way that you're doing it, like talking about like the need for diversity and like mental health, like those are like major subjects to like bring up and be open about. So I really appreciated that, and I love it, and you guys are fucking sick.